Today's lesson is graphene, the material helping shape our future. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
And I'm Helen.
And today we're talking about a certain kind of material, something that is used to make things like concrete or steel or iron or things like that. Those are materials or building materials. But today we're talking about something called graphene. Have you ever heard of graphene before, Helen?
Actually, no. I had never heard of graphene before reading this article, before coming across it in this context. But it sounds like a very exciting and interesting material because it says here that you can use graphene to make a lot of different things that are useful to humanity. So I'm very excited to find out more about this material.
Yes, there's a lot of potential with this material. Our title does say it is the material helping shape our future, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, this new material called graphene. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's begin our lesson by introducing this topic by listening to the first paragraph.
Graphene, the material helping shape our future. Graphene is a revolutionary material that is about to change our world. Consisting of a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in a flexible honeycomb-like structure, graphene is 1 million times thinner than a human hair and 200 times stronger than steel by weight. It is also the most conductive material on the planet. These incredible properties mean that graphene has wide-ranging applications in electronics, biotechnology, and other fields.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 carbon， 这个字是名词，意思是碳。例如 The smoke released from the factory looks black because there is a lot of carbon in it. 从工厂排放出的烟看起来是黑色的，因为里面含有大量的碳。另外 carbon 加上 emissions, E-M-I-S-S-I-O-N-S, carbon emissions 就变成我们常说的碳排放。举例来说 To cut down on carbon emissions, I have started taking the MRT to work instead of driving my car. 为了减少碳排放，我已经开始改搭捷运上班而不开车了。或是 The company agreed to reduce its carbon emissions over the next 5 years. 这家公司同意未来5年减少碳排放。接着我们看到形容词 conductive， 指具有传导性的或是可导热或导电的，像是 Silver is the most conductive metal， 银是导热效果最好的金属。或是 Not only metals, but also carbon is a conductive substance， 除了金属外，碳也是可导电的物质。再来我们看到单字 biotechnology， 这个字是名词，指生物科技。例如The professor has an expertise in biotechnology. 那名教授是生物科技的专家。或是 Nowadays, biotechnology is widely used in different fields. 现今生物科技被广泛应用在不同领域。
So on to our discussion of graphene, the material helping shape our future. Graphene is a revolutionary material that is about to change our world. So the author says that graphene is a material that is revolutionary, which means that it is completely new and it's going to change the way that we do things and the way that we think about things. So revolutionary has this meaning, even though originally revolutionary was used to refer to countries that went to war, people that fought against the government because they wanted a new government, so they had revolutions or wars led to revolutions. But in this context, revolutionary just means that it's a very new thing. It's very different from the way things were thought of in the past. So I could also say that the internet was a revolutionary invention.
Right, or the theory of the Big Bang was revolutionary at the time it was proposed. People thought it was ridiculous. But yes, if something's revolutionary, it's going to make a big change in the world. So graphene is a revolutionary material that is about to change our world. Consisting of a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in a flexible honeycomb-like structure, graphene is 1 million times thinner than a human hair and 200 times stronger than steel by weight. Now, this is a very long sentence, and it tells us quite a bit of information about graphene. First of all, it describes graphene as consisting of a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in a flexible honeycomb-like structure. So, yes, it consists of this layer. It has this layer. It is made up of this layer of carbon atoms. Carbon, of course, is an element, atomic number 6, and it's quite common in the world, and life is based on it. Atoms is the foundation of modern chemistry.
That's right. So carbon is very common. It's found in all living things, and it also exists in coal and diamonds. And atoms, an example of an atom could be 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms, which together make up a molecule of water. But here we're talking about carbon atoms that are found inside this material called graphene, and the carbon atoms are arranged in a flexible honeycomb-like structure. So first of all, the adjective flexible means able to bend or move easily. So a good example of something that is flexible is a rubber band, because a rubber band can stretch and it can contract, so it can be manipulated very easily. Now, this single layer of carbon atoms is very flexible, and it has a honeycomb-like structure. So if you look at the structure of this layer of carbon atoms, it is arranged like a honeycomb. So every time you have the word like with a hyphen following a noun, you're saying that the thing that you are describing is like the word before like. So honeycomb-like means it looks like a honeycomb. Gentleman-like means a person acts or seems like a gentleman, for example. Now, the word honeycomb refers to a structure that has a lot of holes in it. And the honeycomb is typically the thing that honeybees make to store honey in. But you can also say that something has a honeycomb structure if it looks like a honeycomb, if it's arranged in a pattern that has holes in it.
So that's how they arrange the carbon atoms. They are arranged in a flexible honeycomb-like structure. So graphene is 1 million times thinner than a human hair. Hey, that's very thin. And 200 times stronger than steel by weight. So if you're looking at it in terms of weight or how much it weighs, then this graphene structure is 200 times stronger than steel. So it seems like you could build a pretty strong bridge with this material.
That's right. So with this basic description of what graphene consists of and its characteristics, its features, we can already begin to understand why this material would be so useful in the making of so many different things.
Right. So let's move on now to the next sentence here and describe graphene some more. It says, it is also the most conductive material on the planet. When we talk about conductive, we're talking about how well something conducts electricity, how easy it is for electricity to flow through it. Like copper, of course, is very conductive. So most of our electric wires are made with copper because copper is very conductive.
Right. So the fact that graphene is a very conductive material, this incredible property means that graphene has wide-ranging applications in electronics, biotechnology, and other fields. So All of the features that belong to graphene make this material useful in wide-ranging applications. And such applications may include electronics, which is the science of producing electronic equipment or the technology involved in producing electronic equipment, and also biotechnology, which is the use of plant and animal cells for scientific or technological purposes, such as the making of drugs.
Technology related to living things. In other words, it can probably help people cure diseases, or maybe it can be used in artificial limbs and stuff like that. And it also has applications in other fields. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's move on now to the second part and find out more.
Scientists have already discovered many uses for graphene. For instance, a researcher at Australia's Swinburne University has created a new type of battery using the material. The battery has several advantages over traditional ones, including a faster charging time and an improved lifespan. Graphene is also being used to improve solar panels. With a graphene coating, solar panels can generate electricity from the rain as well as the sun.
第二部分我们看到名词 lifespan 指寿命或是有效期。例如 The average lifespan of this breed of dog is 10 to 12 years. 这种狗的平均寿命是10到12岁。或是 Living for an average of 200 years, bowhead whales have a longer lifespan than any other mammal species in the world. 平均寿命超过200年，公头鲸的寿命比世界上任何哺乳类的寿命还要长。接下来我们看到名词 coating 表示涂层或是覆盖层，像是 We guarantee that this coating will protect your car's paint for up to 10 years. 我们保证这个涂料层可以保护你车子的烤漆长达10年。或是 The bottom of my car has a coating that keeps it from rusting. 我车子的底部有涂层来防止车子生锈。最后我们看到单字 generate 这个字是动词，指产生光、电或是热等，也可以是造成或是引起。举例来说 That power plant generates electricity for the entire city. 那座电厂生产电力供全市使用。也可以说 The marketing campaign generated interest in the company's newest product line. 这场行销活动让人们对该公司的最新产品系列感兴趣。另外补充一个相关单字 generator G-E-N-E-R-A-T-O-R generator 意思是发电机。例如 That generator was used to produce electricity at the camping area. 那台发电机被用来为营区产生电力。或是 Most factories have backup generators to deal with the unexpected power outage. 大部分的工厂都有备用发电机来解决意外断电的问题。
So we've seen already that graphene is a very particular material. It's very thin, thinner than human hair, and it's 200 times stronger than steel by weight. And it's also very conductive, which means that it is able to allow electricity or heat to pass through it. So because of all of these qualities, scientists have already discovered many uses for graphene. For instance, a researcher at Australia's Swinburne University has created a new type of battery using the material. Now, a battery is an object that fits into something else, such as an electric scooter or a clock or anything that requires electricity to function. And the battery is what supplies that object with electricity. So scientists have already discovered a way to use graphene to make a new type of battery.
Exactly. And this battery uses this material, graphene. The battery has several advantages over traditional ones. So here, to have an advantage over something means that it's better than something else. So yes, indeed, it's better than other kinds of batteries that we use in our phones that are based on lithium or whatever. And they include a faster charging time and an improved lifespan. So, of course, this is a big concern for lots of people these days. My goodness, we need to use that smartphone all day long, but it keeps running out of power. We have to charge the thing, and sometimes in order to have a device that's charged all the time, we sometimes bring along an extra charger with us, or maybe even an extra phone or two, just so we can keep using the phone. So, my goodness, if we could charge that phone in like 1 or 2 minutes, that would be a godsend.
That's right. And it wouldn't be bad to have a battery that had an improved lifespan, which means that it can last longer before it breaks or needs to be replaced. So this is very good news.
Right, so lifespan just refers to how long something can live, and that's great. I'm not sure if the cell phone companies would like that. They like the batteries dying early after a year or two, so you have to go out and buy a new phone. Imagine having a phone that you could use for 10 or 20 years without needing to replace the battery. Now, graphene is also being used to improve solar panels. That's a way to produce solar electricity or solar power, and it's being used to improve them with a graphene coating. Solar panels can generate electricity from the rain as well as the sun. My goodness, imagine living in Geelong or Taipei here and having all the electricity you could ever need because it rains so often here. So that would be a great miracle for the people of Taiwan here to be able to get electricity from rain. And yes, you put a coating of graphene on the solar panel. A coating is just a thin layer of something. You probably have a coating of something on your eyeglasses so they don't scratch. And in this particular case, you have a graphene coating on a solar panel, and that can generate electricity from the sun and from the rain.
That's right. And to generate means to create or to produce. So a thin layer or a thin coating of graphene on solar panels can generate, create, or produce electricity from rain as well.
That is a great idea. Imagine that would solve all our power problems here. We would never have to consider opening up the 4th nuclear power plant ever again. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's move on to the third and final part.
Graphene's current uses may be exciting, but its future potential is even more so. Some of graphene's many possible applications include creating more effective cancer treatments, inventing smart bandages that track how your wound is healing, and building flexible smartphone displays. With new uses being discovered all the time, graphene has the potential to improve not only our items, but also our quality of life. It truly is the material of the future.
So graphene's current uses may be exciting, but its future potential is even more so. So we've already looked at some current uses for graphene, which is to make batteries that can last longer and also to improve solar panels so that they can function when it rains as well. But scientists are actually more excited about graphene's potential for the future, what this material can do for things that will exist in the future.
Okay, so we don't know what these abilities will be, but we're imagining some of these abilities. Some of graphene's many possible applications include creating more effective cancer treatments, inventing smart bandages that track how your wound is healing, and building flexible smartphone displays. So these are some possible applications. We're not quite sure if this will actually happen. That's why we're saying they are possible applications, but they might be true someday. These include effective cancer treatments. That would be good. Imagine how many relatives that you have had in the past that have suffered from cancer or died from cancer. If this could help cure cancer or at least treat it, that would be nice. And also, graphene may be used to invent smart bandages. Of course, if you get hurt, if you get cut, or if you get a scrape or a scar or something like that, you put a bandage on it. This would be a smart bandage that could track how your wound is healing so you know when you can take it off.
That's right. And you can also use graphene to build flexible smartphone displays. So we've already seen the word flexible, which means that it can bend or it won't break easily. And a smartphone display is just the screen of the smartphone. It's what you look at to get information, to see video displays or video images on your smartphone. So graphene can be used to build flexible smartphone displays as well.
That can be very annoying. We all have dropped our smartphones from time to time, and sometimes the screen gets cracked. Imagine having graphene there, and a cracked screen would be a thing of the past. You can drop your phone as many times as you want, and the screen is flexible. It won't break. Now, moving on to the final paragraph here, it says, with new uses being discovered all the time, graphene has the potential to improve not only our items, but also our quality of life. So here, with these new uses, or because we have these new uses, and because these new uses are being discovered all the time, therefore, graphene has the potential to improve our items and our lives. So indeed, it does have the potential. It has the possibility of doing this in the future.
That's right. So this final part basically sums up what we've learned about graphene. It can improve our items. For instance, it can make better batteries and solar panels and possibly smartphone displays, and also improve our quality of life. And that could include bandages that work better so that we can heal more quickly, and also contribute to ways to cure cancer or to treat cancer.
Yep, so there's a lot of potential with this material. Now's the time to invest in a graphene manufacturing company. You will make a fortune in the future. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分的第二句提到，石墨烯比人的头发细100万倍，按重量计算的话，比钢强200倍。文中它是用到 1 million times thinner than 什么什么，以及 200 times stronger than 什么什么来表达。那这边我们就来补充倍数的表示法。用倍数在进行比较的时候呢，一般是用数字加上 times来表达几倍，像 3 times 3倍 4 times 4倍等等。那么 half 就是一半，2倍你可以用 2 times 或者是 twice。 常见的倍数说法会有以下3种。第一种呢，我们可以用倍数加上比较级加上 than， 有时候我们也会在比较级后面加上名词。好，例如 The city's population is 4 times larger than Taipei's， 那个城市的人口数是台北的4倍。好，那要特别注意 half 和 twice 不能用这样的比较级句型来进行比较哦。我们要表达2倍，则必须用 2 times 加上比较级加上 than 什么什么。好，第二个补充的用法是倍数加上 as 形容词 as 或者是 as 副词 as。 有时候我们在这个 as 形容词 as 的句型里面，形容词后面也会加上名词。好，举例来说 The dog is 3 times as heavy as our cat。 那只狗的体重啊，是我们猫咪的3倍耶。好，再看到第三个用法，我们可以用倍数加上 the 名词计量词 of 什么什么。英文里面我们常见的名词计量词有包含像 size, length, age, number, weight, height 等等。举例来说 Their new apartment is twice the size of their old one。 他们的新公寓是旧公寓的2倍大。好，那这个用法有时候我们也会看到另外一种句型是倍数加上 once 这个所有格的部分，然后加上名词计量词。例如 His son is about half his height。 他儿子的身高大约是他的一半。好，我们接着读到课文第3部分倒数第2句，他说随着新的用途不断被发现，石墨烯不仅有可能改善我们的商品，也有可能提升我们的生活品质。文中他用到 with new uses being discovered 来表达随着新用途被发现。那他用到的句型是 with 加上受词加上受词补语，去表达伴随着什么，由于什么什么。而这个用法呢，它是要表达附带状况或是说明原因。 受词补语的部分，你可以用介系词片语、形容词、现在分词或是过去分词。那如果同学们要用分词来当受词补语的话，你就可以从受词跟补语之间的关系来判断。主动关系我们用现在分词 VING， 被动关系用过去分词 PP。 像文中它的受词 new uses， 这个新的用途是被发现的，所以受词补语我们用过去分词 discovered 来表达。好，那么课文它只是为了强调这个事件正在进行，所以它前方保留了 being 来让句意更清楚。那我们也来造个例句。 She couldn't concentrate with the kids running around。 孩子们跑来跑去啊，她没办法专注。那孩子们是不是会主动自己跑来跑去呢？所以受词跟受词补语之间的关系是主动，我们用现在分词来当补语。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Revolutionary. The smartphone was a revolutionary product and it changed the way we communicate. Carbon. Carbon is found in every living thing on Earth. Atom. Atoms are the basic building blocks of matter. Flexible.
This plastic is flexible, but it will break if you bend it too hard.
Electronics. Sydney recently graduated with a degree in advanced electronics. Battery. When you go hiking, pack some spare batteries for your flashlight. Generate. If you're cold, you can generate heat by jogging on the spot. Bandage. Ingrid cleaned the cut and gently placed a bandage over it.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion starter for today. Of all the possible uses of graphene, which is the most exciting and why?
Well, I think it's exciting that graphene can be used to improve smartphones, particularly smartphone displays and maybe even smartphone batteries, because that means we won't have to replace our smartphones so often like we do today.
That's a good application, of course, but to me, using graphene to cure cancer or at least to treat cancer sounds incredible, as so many people have suffered from this disease for so long. If this can actually relieve people's suffering, then that is a great achievement. Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoyed reading along with us. I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.